Well, we think we're going back to the regime that dominated most of the post-financial crisis world of, roughly speaking, in the U.S., more or less 2% inflation, 4% nominal GDP growth, which would translate to 2% real GDP growth. So maybe a little bit disappointing, and certainly below where it's been in the past. But look, we could be wrong. And if you're going to, for the scenarios for inflation running hotter than that are certainly in place. So you've got obviously really accommodative monetary policy, huge fiscal stimulus. There are a lot of reasons to think that growth could run at a higher pace. But I think when you look at what's priced into markets, I think it's more or less this base case, our base case, that we're going back to a world where inflation is relatively contained. Bond yields remain, I think they'll be quite a bit higher than where they are right now.
Right.
But I don't think we're going back to the world that we might have seen from 20 or 30 years ago.
Michael, that said, options activity appears to be pointing to the possibility of a hawkish surprise at Jackson Hole in August from Chairman Powell. Is the options market mispricing that risk, or are they getting it more or less right?
Well, in terms of positioning within our funds, we are at all-time lows in terms of duration. So we're betting that rates are going to move higher. I don't know if the catalyst is going to be Jackson Hole. I think that's a reasonable assumption, because when you think about just in fact, so some interesting commentary out from the speech from Randall Quarles today at the Brookings Institute, where he talked about, and I'll quote a couple things, I think there were some good hints in here, where he gave a pretty optimistic outlook around the direction of inflation, the direction of employment, and says essentially that it'll become important for the FOMC to begin discussing our plans to adjust the pace of asset purchasing at upcoming meetings. So
right.
Upcoming meetings, and I suppose you could extrapolate that towards their offsite in Jackson Hole. But he then later in that speech goes on to say, just
right.
a few sentences later, and I'm quoting, in contrast, the time for discussing a change in the federal funds rate remains far in the future.